I'm hoping everything works because it's game number 1 of the subscriber replay showcase. And unless, of course, this game isn't very good, in which case, I guess it's game number 1, but only for you folks on Twitch. All the YouTube viewers will be, game 2 might be game 1. In the north, playing on Fire Island, this is the Blue Empire, ideally named IdealBlue. What a delightful combination. And then playing the orange, playing the allies in the southern position. This is E1A2. And if you're a Gen Evo enjoyer, well, that name may sound familiar. I don't know that I've ever seen E1A2 in vanilla Red Alert 3 as opposed to Gen Evo. E1A2, seen, I don't know, maybe 24 games of him in Gen Evo. Seen quite a few matches, but regular vanilla Red Alert 3, I don't think I've seen anything. So this is kind of a first, but it's also a player that I'm somewhat familiar with in Gen Evo. And in modern day Gen Evo, modern day meaning like, I don't know, 6-9 months ago, very solid player. Nothing to complain about, really, especially in team games. Very solid player. Pretty much does the right stuff. Red Alert 3, who knows? Could be a complete noob, could be a complete pro. We shall see. In this case, he does manage to get the oil derrick. Of course, Empire player got both of them. IdealBlue gets the cash back on both, which is always nice because, you know, if you check out the UI, you notice in the first couple of moments of the game, the Empire player always outspends everyone else. Soviets tend to be the slowest because they do have to place their building, so that extra like 1 second delays their spend by a little bit. But of course, Empire, with the building mechanics, they can blow through money so fast. So when you're playing Empire, that money disappears, and getting the $500 cash back on both oil derricks is a nice offset, especially when you're going 3-4 dojos. You're opening up with $9 grand leaving your bank account extremely quickly. Fast third refinery as well. This is not a lot of Tengus that are out on the map. If the build had been slightly different from E1A2, not as many Peacekeepers, more Vindicators, that's a dead refinery core, basically as it emerges. But I'm guessing IdealBlue saw how many Peacekeepers there were, knew how late the airfield would be by comparison, and then went for the third refinery. Otherwise, he kind of just got lucky and went blind for that third refinery. A couple more Imperial Warriors. Definitely worth selling that off. Imperial Warriors going to be tagging the oil derrick in the north. Vindicators are out. Third refinery is almost complete for our Empire player. E1A2 not far behind. He's orange, he's allies, and he's only a little bit behind the economy of the Empire player. 2.3k per minute versus 3.1k per minute. That 1k of difference is about to disappear. Now that both oil derricks, well, don't speak too soon, but now that both oil derricks are dead now, it'll be now sometime. When the oil derricks die, third refineries come up, that income number starts to equalize. A little bit of harassment coming in. Vindicators gonna have to drop a couple of bombs, will get the kill, but the prospector is now low health, vulnerable to the next wave of attack. IdealBlue up to tier 2. Got those strikers, got those tsunami tanks. This, I feel like, is a really great opening for IdealBlue. It's not been a perfect win for the Empire player, but overall, it's been really solid. And look at that, 4, 5, that's 1,200, 6, 7. We get 1,400, 1,400. And let's go 16. 1,600 worth of Peacekeepers just got crushed there. That's almost a refinery worth of Peacekeepers that the Allied player built, got a little bit of value from, controlling the map, moving around, taking down the oil derrick, killing a couple of Imperial Warriors, and then bango bongo, 1,600 worth of Peacekeepers gone. War Factory is up. One Tengu gets sniped there. The Apollos do find their target, which is good for them. Empire player would love to see him sneak out a fourth refinery at some point. He's a little bit strapped for cash. He is at 4k per minute. This is one of those situations where with the oil derrick, getting that fourth refinery is a bit easier. Getting the fourth refinery, it's a bit tough. You go here, cryocopters, Athena cannons, even just Vindicator bombing runs coming in with that cryo shot to support. Lots of ways to punish this forward refinery as the allied player. So I can understand the hesitancy, and that is why you do see some Empire players go for the, oh, that's so lucky, E1A2, 2 Vindicators. One with, like, 20% health, the other one at about 5% health. Interrupting myself because E1A2 got, I don't know if that's incredibly lucky or that was just the perfect pathing. I think it was a little bit of both, getting very lucky with the split on the shots coming in from those chopper VXs. But that is one reason why you do sometimes see Empire players try to sneak a refinery. They just pretend that they're on 3 refineries and hope that the allied player doesn't do any due diligence. Walls can be broken down. Harvester didn't get grabbed there, and the Vindicators had to drop their bombs on the Tsunami tank. So not an ideal move there for the allied player. He really wanted to kill off that Harvester. Fortunately for E1A2, he's got that 4th refinery up and running as well, so he's keeping pace with the Empire player, and the Tengu harass has been pretty light. We've had a little bit of Tengu harass, and other than that, it's been a pretty easy game on the harassment front for the allied player. Not a lot to worry about. Meanwhile, that burst drone is slowing down that Harvester back at home. Tengu's going to take a little bit of extra damage. Maybe a couple of misclicks there. Not a huge deal for the Empire player. He's going to be losing a couple of these strikers, a couple of these Tengus to the IFVs on the ground. That's 1 striker down, and the jab getting a couple of shots in as well. The Tengu's going to go for the transform, get the kill on both of the IFVs and on the jab as well. Is this just a dead armory? No Apollos for support, no Vindicators as well, and no, it won't be a dead War Factory, but it will be a dead Harvester, and maybe even a dead IFV as well. A couple of, okay, both of the strikers do go down. A Tengu gets eliminated as well, and 1 Vindicator, 2 Vindicators do go down. E1A2 taking some damage, but getting some extra kills on exit. IdealBlue, a roller coaster of emotions for our Empire player who wins and then loses, wins and then loses about 4 times in that one stretch of 30 seconds. And that decision making, I guess it was totally fine from both players, but it ended up just changing hands as far as who was getting the better end of the exchange so many times in those moments. Another 2 Tengus going down, a 3rd as well. This is not a good exchange of forces for the Empire player. Fortunately, there isn't much of a ground army left over for the allied player, so it's not like E1A2 is going to be crossing the map. He does have tier 2. He has not started tier 3. Another Harvester does go down, so at least IdealBlue is thinning out those Harvester numbers as he rebuilds. He's got 4 Tsunami tanks, a very reasonable number. He's got some Imperial Warriors, got some Tank Busters, and has even added on a Defender VX. So he is macroed out of this just fine, and that's where that 1.5k per minute advantage has been huge for the Empire player. Cryo shot. Easy to dodge that one. A little bit more harassment, and every bit of this harassment helps out our Empire player so much. This slowed Harvester also, I'm not sure exactly how long that is adding, but that's probably minus 25% on that one refinery because that burst drone has not been dealt with. War Factory basically back up to full health from the attack earlier, but we are going to have a decent number of Tank Busters here, adding a lot of firepower to this attack, and this is where having very little ground army and no cryocopters is a big problem for the allied player. Extra Guardian Tank does step out just in time, but it does go down. Striker now going to be targeting that armor facility, and the multi-gunner turret is distracted with all the other targets here. The War Factory will go down. The Apollos come in just in time to kill off 1 Striker, but they will pay the price, one of them falling to that anti-air fire, and now the MCV under threat. E1A2 loses his War Factory, never was able to rebuild the ground army the way that he wanted, and even this harassment on the other side of the map is not particularly powerful. He looks like he did actually get a Harvester there, but that doesn't really compare with killing off the War Factory, and if he gets this MCV, it is lights out for the allied player. It would be an incredible comeback from losing an MCV, losing that tier 2 MCV, and he will save it. Well, maybe not. Maybe the tank busters will get their last couple of shots. That Tsunami is still alive. I thought that Tsunami was dead for sure 20 seconds ago, but no, it survived, and the allied MCV goes down. This would be an amazing comeback from losing a tier 2 MCV, losing the War Factory, and everything else. IdealBlue having a couple of rough moments there, but gaining control of the game. E1A2 has not left, so E1A2 is hoping between the, I don't know, the barracks, the naval yard, and the airfield that he's going to be able to buy enough time to rebuild his MCV. And, well, IdealBlue is... Ooh. Oh, those bombs being used. Oh, my gosh. This one Tsunami tank survives again! And then the Peacekeeper gets the kill finally. But killing off that Imperial Warrior did cost the power plant, and now E1A2 is in low power mode. Woo, MCV. I have to assume that's an MCV. That's $5 grand to get that extra MCV out, which E1A2 doesn't really have, and he's in slow production mode. So the Empire player really can't do anything, could even take a 5th refinery in this moment, could go tier 3, is just pumping out units constantly. IdealBlue is just parade pushing across the map, just slow moving, and that jab is going to get the kill on the Striker. These are on the Tengu. These other Tengus may just go down. That's a bit unfortunate. And this Peacekeeper getting some good work done, kills the Tank Buster. This feels like such a scrappy game when you look at the units that are out on the map. It's like a couple of Tengus. Oh, perfectly timed on that point defense drone. And the MCV is back out, so hope springs eternal for this allied player. And the Strikers transform. The Apollo escapes. That takes the pressure off of the naval yard, takes the pressure off of the MCV. Both of the Tengus go down, and this refinery still hasn't died. It's so close to death. And that one Peacekeeper with his riot shield, he's just watching as it gets broken down. The refinery gets eliminated. IdealBlue stopped macroing. He's got 3.5K in the bank. And now, I mean, it is kind of amazing that E1A2 was able to get out that MCV rebuild against all odds. And, yes, there is indeed rear armor weakness. Rear and side armor weakness. Striker with the honorable discharge gets the kill on that Riptide. Yeah, there is rear and side armor weakness in Kane's Wrath and in Red Alert 3. Well, I guess Tibor's. Kane's Wrath, Red Alert 3. And probably CNC4 as well. And those Vindicators getting such value, 2 of them fully heroic. Those Vindicators, that's the one thing we haven't really been keeping tabs on, is how much damage those Vindicators have been doing to cut down this Empire player. And we still don't have tier 3, so this is a tier 2 Empire player who has been feeding a lot of units just into the meat grinder that is the allied player. And E1A2, oh my gosh. He just got so much more with those Vindicators. He cut down that entire next wave of the attack. This Empire player, IdealBlue, has sent in, I don't know, 10 grand worth of units with almost no anti-air at all. And you see these Vindicators rank. The heroic keep getting more and more heroic. No Strikers, no Tengus, a couple of Tank Busters, but of course they don't shoot up. There's a Striker here, but he's in the sky. Nicely activated nano deflectors. Saves 2 of the Tsunami tanks, but I really worried when you don't have 5-6 Tengus to support an army like this. When you've got those Vindicators, you can't chase them down. You can't even deal with the one Apollo, really. I do get worried for the Empire player. He has been throwing away a ton of units, and he can't do that forever. He has been at an income advantage for half of this game. If you look at the total resources gathered, it's about 15,000 credits. But so much of that has just been flushed down the toilet. It's been thrown away in the last couple of minutes. Vindicators looking for that target. Strikers are... Vindicators actually get the kill. I'm not sure that was worth, but... Okay. Maybe a little cryo action is coming by a little bit later. We have not seen any cryocopters. The airfield has been very far away from that Tier 2 MCV when it was Tier 2. Oh, no, the Strikers. Okay, the Strikers do escape. They're still moving slowly, affected by that ice beam, and the Tengu does get shot down. The Strikers are now in the wrong mode, so the Apollo getting free kills on that anti-air, ranking up to fully heroic as the ground army engages, and now this is where those Vindicator bombing runs have run out, but all of the tsunami tanks are dead, which means the Riptides can hold the line. They can wait for those Vindicators to rearm and refuel, come back to the front line, and bring another wave of death. The refinery might be paying the price here. This is a decent number of tank busters, and the Peacekeeper is doing what he can. The bombs come in, but there's still a number of tank busters here to shred these Riptides. Riptides so close to death, but the heroic shot comes out, and this Empire player just cannot close the deal. E1A2 has been a tough nut to crack, and IdealBlue has not been able to find the solution. The Vindicators, time and time again, have been tearing them apart. I wish we had a kill counter. I wish we had a total value counter just for the Vindicators, because they've gotten so much value. The Apollo, the Apollo comes in. Easy kill. He transformed in the face of that Apollo. And the Apollo just comes back in and is like, I'm heroic for a reason, baby. I went golden a long time ago, and no one is taking those stripes. Vindicators will finally pay the price. No, they don't. 3 Vindicators go in, 3 Vindicators escape. This is the most efficient allied aircraft I have seen in so long. It has been a long time since I have seen an Empire player be unable to completely punish the allied player. Normally, we see so many more Tengus that are able to deal with this. Tengus and point defense drones answer that problem, but so many of these units have been piecemealed apart, and now the Empire player, his advantage isn't entirely gone, but it is nowhere near what you might expect it to be, given how the rest of this game has gone. Apollo takes some damage, everything gets pulled back. Has he rebuilt his tech? He's back up to Tier 2! E1A2 back up to Tier 2, back up to 4 refineries, always bouncing back. I cannot believe how much value he has gotten out of those 4 air units that he's had for so long in this game. Strikers going for the transform. There are still 2 Strikers on the ground. They're finally still not going to get a kill. Vindicators come in. Vindicators survive. Are you kidding me? Another cryocopter is out as well. And the Strikers will be going for anything, something. The juggling is perfect by E1A2. It's absolutely perfect from him. The unit control has been flawless in these moments. E1A2 is finding every right click, every correct action to make, and he is pulling off an insane win with only his air units. Everything else has just been dying like any other unit, but these air units are just invincible. He's been making the right call basically every single time. If that sudden transport gets sniped with Eureka inside of it, Tsunami Tank's gonna be, one will go down, the second one gets eliminated, trades out 2 Tsunami Tanks for 1 Harvester. If the Tsunamis had escaped, it's a different story, but the freeze timeouts are absolutely atrocious in this moment, but it's just Imperial Warriors, so it's not that big of a deal. And yes, that is not just a random Tengu over there. That is indeed a sudden transport that currently the allied player still has no idea about. Is this the same burst drone from 17 minutes ago? The same burst drone giving grief to that same Harvester, and now finally the Tengus are here in numbers, but oh no, the jabs! 1, 2, And not a third. And of course, the Tengus can go for the transform on top of these units. They will be able to get one cryocopter. Okay, they finally do get one. And now here is Yuriko to try and break down this airfield. The Tengu is going to go into the sky, and it's a slaughter. Finally, we see it. And Yuriko is even going to be dodging the Cryogeddon as well. That's the sell-off. E1A2 has met his match, and it's Yuriko and Tengus. That's the combination that wins the games. And I think that was a little bit of a bug there. I'm not sure how we got two psionic blasts off at the same time, but I'm guessing that was like a lag bug or something. Well, that's another dead refinery. E1A2, he has bounced back from quite a bit, but now he's got almost 5-6 grand in the bank, and he has been unable to do anything about it. Yuriko hanging out fully heroic next to this Peacekeeper, but that's a lot of damage down here in the main base of our allied player. Airfield gets rebuilt right as the Tengus show up to harass the Harvester, and a Yuriko finish for this game is the best way to knock this one out of the park. IdealBlue, it was hard fought from beginning to end. Oh my gosh, an aircraft carrier comes out at the last moment. And there goes the MCV, there goes the War Factory. Engineer, Peacekeeper both get eliminated. And that's the GG as E1A2 has been eliminated. Empire reigns supreme. It is not necessarily the way you expect to see it, but it's the way that one went down. An incredibly entertaining game there on Fire Island, and a super fun back and forth. And again, E1A2's aircraft were just so perfect for 90% of that game. His ground army, okay, but his aircraft were just so perfect. And IdealBlue got ahead early on and basically never let it go. Let it slip. He did let it slip several times, but he brought it back, and that is definitely a good thing to have. You know, he didn't get tilted and just lose the game. He didn't snowball too bad in the wrong direction. He brought it back and got the win. Welcome to Snowplow, and this is not necessarily what you expect, because spawning is the Red Empire in the south. This is Zaid. And as the green allies in the north, well, it's GreenAlert. Normally a Soviet player, but in this case, an allied player who is opening airfield first and on Snowplow. So I am curious to see how GreenAlert chooses to play this. This is traditionally an allied favored map. It's one of those maps that you can set up in the middle of the map with your MCV and get sort of a very nice little setup going. Triple dojo opening. Yes, no, it's quad dojo opening. English name was asking in the chat. It is going to be a 4 dojo opening for this Empire player. And Zaid, I feel like I mostly see Zaid in team games, so I'm actually unsure as to what Zaid mains. But this is GreenAlert playing off main, not playing his main faction in this moment. Barracks will be getting pretty darn close, but everything is walled up pretty tightly, so there isn't going to be an immediate threat from these Imperial warriors. Waiting for the engineer, and doesn't get it! Oh, Zaid! Wow. Not often do you see an airfield first resulting in 2 oil derricks for the Empire player. Zaid is, I guess, feeling good. He's got his proxy barracks, sells it off, loses the Imperial Warrior, unfortunately, and then this MCV is going to be running for the middle of the map, I have to assume. He's going to be going for that 3rd refinery. He's going to be trying to shut down this Empire player who's building another dojo. How many dojos is this guy making? There's 2 more dojos coming out, Tengus as well. Oh, and he's still got this dojo over here, so he's just bleeding. He's just parade pushing Imperial warriors across the map and sending out dojos as well. So it's going to be Tengu, Dojo, Imperial Warrior just pinpricks of damage, just little needling of your opponent until they crumble. And the Tengu is going for the harass. So this is actually really bad for GreenAlert in a way that I was not expecting. Well, another dojo gets shut down, but unfortunately he hasn't shut down this dojo over here, and GreenAlert hasn't killed off this dojo here. The MCV now packing up again, and the Harvester is safe for now, but this is even more lost mining time as that Harvester just walks around the wall, slowly looking to try and find an opening and get back to work. GreenAlert down below 2K per minute in income, while Zaid up at 3.1K per minute in income. There was a solid 30 seconds there where there was more than a 1K per minute income discrepancy at 3.5 minutes in the game, which is not what you want to see. You don't want to be more than 1K behind your opponent this early on in the game. However, a lot of money wasted on Imperial Warriors on dojos that can't necessarily do very much versus all of these walled-in structures. The MCV has kind of given up and is just heading across the map. I don't know what the plan is here. This seems like a really tough spot for an MCV, but he's gonna now do something else. He's like, all right, this is a bad idea. I need to get out of here. I need to hope that my Vindicators can cover my escape, and they can. Is he going for the honorable discharge damage? I don't know if that was intentional or not, but he just suicided that tsunami tank. And, well, the Imperial Warriors, they got back to help out, and then they were like, oh, actually, we can't do anything here because the MCV is already out on the water. More honorable discharge damage. The Imperial Warriors repositioning to the north side of the lake and are looking for that MCV to reemerge where they can actually do some damage. Oh no, the tank busters are here. Tank busters to break down the wall. And this just creates even more opening for confusion. The Vindicators always having to decide which target to hit. And because of these nano deflectors, they will have to commit a couple more bombs. Which target do you go for? Gets both tsunami tanks. Okay, nicely done. Loses a refinery. So now GreenAlert is going to really drop down in income. 2 refinery empire with 2 oil derricks versus just 1 refinery allied player, but with 2 airfields. And of course, the empire player has very little that shoots up. And no, the tsunami tank went the wrong way. Get close, get close. Oh, he did it. Oh my gosh, the dancing. Zaid with the dances comes in. Another tsunami tank goes down there. These tsunami tanks just dying so quickly. And the MCV never able to find a safe place to hang out. The tank buster was not rebuilt. This barracks did get cleaned up eventually. And with no barracks, with no tank busters to break down the walls, you kind of can't do anything. But the prospector escaped. GreenAlert with the sneaky expansion to the northern part of the map. He sneaks out. That prospector low on health, but still makes it in point defense drones, calling in the big guns to try and get these tsunami tanks through the waves of attacks from those Vindicators. Another tsunami tank moving out. Another dead. 2 more dead tsunami tanks. Tsunami tanks are just, they cannot make it across the map. If they can break down any of these walls, then the end can begin. Oh, he can just do it. He can just do it. He had to activate his nano deflectors. Hey, he did it. The wall got broken down. Attack! Attack! Oh, immediately sells it off. Okay, so we're down to 1 airfield. Another tsunami tank coming in. And yep, gonna go for the walls once again. The slow rebuild is happening. 3 multi-gunner turrets. Is he gonna get? He gets the bridge! He gets the tsunami tank and the bridge! GreenAlert just pulling something out of nothing with these plays. The walls survive. The multi-gunner turret, or the tsunami tank, goes down and the walls survive. The multi-gunner turret gets a kill on the next reinforcement, and it's such a delay. Everything else just gets bombed out. Power plants getting eliminated. 2 power plants going down as these Imperial Warriors try to find some safety. And the Vindicators will refuel just in time. Okay, but the tsunami tank closed the distance on the wall. I think the wall is too low health. Yep, wall segment goes down. And now the bombings are really good. GreenAlert making excellent use of those bombs, but this refinery is now under threat. The Peacekeeper goes down and just needs to get... Oh, no, he's going to run from the Prospector. The Prospector was brought offline, but it's low power mode for the Allied player. He sent Zaid into low power mode, and now he himself is cursed with darkness. Zaid, so close to victory, and yet so close to defeat at the same time. This Prospector is desperate to try to get back to work, but also wants to crush all of these Imperial Warriors. Because he has not been able to get any tank busters out on the map, Zaid just has so much firepower that can't really do anything with these Imperial Warriors, being constantly waiting for someone else to come break down the walls for them. A second Prospector is out. This refinery is out as well. More tsunami tanks crossing the map. Zaid, he doesn't know about the hidden expansion in the corner. Imperial Warriors can't swim. And that harvester didn't even get one load of ore. Peacekeeper does go down. Tsunami tanks will be able to knock down this refinery, I think. Vindicators coming in. Oh, it's going to be the cryo shot as well, forcing the reposition. Vindicators come in. Run for the hills. Run. Vindicators waiting for the nano deflectors to wear off. More tsunami tanks are here. Still 5 of them out on the map. MCV is, you got to try everything in this game. Both of the oil derricks still surviving. 10 minutes into the game, both of the oil derricks are still here. Harvester low on health. This other harvester trying to turn into a Prospector might survive. Oh, he does! He survives. The Imperial Warrior goes down. The tsunami tanks are just going to bum rush the front door. They're going to try and break it down with the honorable discharge. And it's going to be 2, 3 dead multi-gunner turrets. MCV back up to half health. These tsunami tanks getting so close to every building that they can so that as they die, they pass along that damage, and the MCV forced to pack up. The power plants will be targeted one by one, and the Vindicators just need so many bombing runs to actually shut down these tsunami tanks. Another power plant goes down, and the third won't be long for this world as the Vindicators come in for another bombing run. Only 3 tsunami tanks remain, but the MCV now getting chased. Fortunately, there aren't 18 Imperial Warriors ready to attack it like there were a few moments ago, and GreenAlert trying desperately to keep himself in this game, and these tsunami tanks dodging and weaving. Vindicators ranking up again and again and again. 1 single vet, 1 double vet, and 2 fully heroic. The tsunami tanks should be able to get the kill now on this MCV. A couple more shots. No, the repair is enough! The repair is enough! The honorable discharge is what he's hoping for, and there's the kill. No, he doesn't get the last shot! That last tsunami tank is so far away by comparison. He's so far away, he's gonna get bombed out! The MCV survives! Are you kidding me? GreenAlert! The MCV survives with so little HP. That harvester overproduced a harvester. I guess just sell off this stuff, get that cash back in the bank, but at the same time, GreenAlert actually has 8K or 3.8K in the bank. He doesn't need cash, he needs an engineer. And the tsunami tanks, they keep getting sniped one by one. They cross the map, the Tengus as well. Trying to switch it up for the Tengus. Oh my gosh. GreenAlert. There's the barracks. Get the engineer, get the engineer. He has the cash for it, 4 grand in the bank. He can't produce anything, so he's just racking up money. Another rank up for this Vindicator. I cannot believe that GreenAlert is still in this game. Yeah, this is about to be a Ship of Theseus moment. Englishman, or English name with the old school references. It's the same MCV, and yet it has been rebuilt piece by piece 100 times at this point. The engineer going for it. No! Get in there! Get in there! What are you doing? What are you doing? Go! Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, he sees it. He notices. GreenAlert. He's back online with 3 refineries. He's at 3.4K per minute to 3.9K of Zaid. If Zaid would have gotten out one more refinery at some point earlier in this game, he would have actually been able to just crush GreenAlert with numbers. But every moment of this game, Zaid has thought, I'm about to win, I'm about to win, I'm about to win, I'm about to win, I'm about to win. And the result is he never got that 3rd refinery. He never got that next step in his original game plan. He's just been improving this entire time, and now both oil derricks have engineers pointed at them. And GreenAlert is, I don't know, I guess where there's a will, there's a way, and he has the will. He's trying to find the way. Aircraft searching the map, trying to make sure that these engineers make it to their destinations safely. Multi-gunner turrets back online, protecting that refinery in the middle. Zaid scratching his head, wondering where he went wrong, where everything went wrong. Engineer getting dangerously close. This is like if Zaid had gotten a 3rd refinery, or if he had realized that this refinery was here. Because he could have potentially harassed that refinery. One Tengu over there would have wasted a lot of time on the Vindicators, trying to go over there for the defense. Cryo shot fires off, but the Harvester is in the wrong position. So it's going to be... No, it's a cryo blast. It kills the refinery. And the Harvester can get frozen as well. Zaid out in the middle of the map, not realizing the threat that was lurking around the corner. He loses an oil derrick. He's about to lose the other. He's lost a refinery, and the second Harvester is frozen down. Fortunately, there's another refinery right there, or another Harvester right there. The defense comes back home, but perhaps it's too little, too late. The MCV, so close to death so many times, and yet... he's survived, he has prevailed, and... I mean, I don't know how he came back from that kind of a position, but GreenAlert is now actually in a fine position. He's on 4 refineries, 2 oil derricks, 5.5K per minute versus a 3K per minute, and dropping Empire player. Oh no. Is he long-distance harvesting accidentally? Yes, the Harvester! No, forget your stupid memories. Forget your stupid memories. Oh, he's force landing on the building. That's a bannable offense in tourneys. Zaid has been defeated, and GreenAlert is victorious. What a game to finish on. What a one to go out on. GreenAlert with the comeback. I cannot believe he brought that one back. And Zaid kicking himself for that game. He can think of 100 ways he could have won that game if things had gone slightly differently. And yeah, that uptick in resources at the end. GreenAlert with the comeback there on Snowplow. How many more games can we get through? Welcome to Infinity Isle. We always see it sooner or later. And welcome to the right side of the map, where we have this blue Empire player named SuperPower. And on the left side, we have got this cyan Allied player named Infinite 1v1, which is quite a name. Quite a name for a player. I don't know that I want infinite anything, let alone 1v1s. But this guy, Infinite 1v1, he's looking for it. And this is a triple refinery opener. Okay. Triple ref opener. It's not an airfield first. It may be an airfield after one refinery. No, airfields build faster than that, I think. Maybe airfield after 2 refineries. I thought the refinery was going to come in sooner. We got it eventually. But airfield after 2 refineries, I'm guessing. And you got the walls up and triple refinery opening for the Empire player. This super duper delays your Tengus 1.5 minutes before the Mecha Bay even emerges from the MCV. There is the airfield double jav packed along inside. Always nice to have those jabs inside of the walls, especially when you're up against Tengus. For a second, I thought that Javelin was on like a patrol command, but no, he did eventually stop moving. Oil Derrick gets grabbed by both players, nicely captured, and it's into a defender. So so it really feels like SuperPower thought that the aircraft were going to be coming a lot faster than they actually are. And without that Defender VX, he possibly would have had a Tengu by now. But of course, it would have been just one Tengu. And the first Vindicator bombing run, oh man, Infinite 1v1, I don't think has even spotted this. So he may have some suspicions because he hasn't seen a Tengu yet, but he hasn't actually spotted that it was a 3 refinery opening, that it was super late War Factory, that it's straight to tier 2. Okay, so that is one reason why he got that Defender VX. Wow, in SuperPower, just spending so much money right at the start of the game. He essentially fast-forwarded to the mid-game and got away with it. I mean, we'll see. Vindicators come in. They might wait for the nano machines to expire. Okay, nope, didn't need to with the Peacekeepers there, but that's 3 Peacekeepers down. So that Tsunami tank actually traded okay, considering he absorbed 2 Vindicators worth of bombs and killed 3 Peacekeepers. That's a great trade, honestly, for that Tsunami tank. Obviously, it's not cost effective in terms of if you add the value of everything up, but wasting the time of those Vindicators and still getting something when normally, you know, if you don't have the nano machines, you get a dead Tsunami tank for nothing. So it's actually pretty good, all things considered. Peacekeepers going to be chasing away those Imperial Warriors. 3rd refinery finally up for Infinite 1v1. Right now, he's 0.4k per minute behind his Empire player, but part of that is Infinite 1v1 maintained his Oil Derrick, and SuperPower did not. SuperPower lost the Oil Derrick, but 4th refinery should be coming up relatively soon. Basically, as soon as SuperPower feels comfortable, he should get that refinery. Ooh, man, Allied players today, so lucky with these aircraft. 2 extra shots or something from those strikers, you know, 1/4 of a second or 1/10 of a second more inside of the range of those strikers, and that's a dead Apollo. That's you're rebuilding that Apollo, not getting repairs. Tengu gets eliminated. A little bit of lost mining time for the Allied player, but ultimately not a big deal. More Tengus coming in. The Apollo, I thought there was an Apollo chasing, but the Tengus, it looks like, will get the kill on the Prospector. Will force the Vindicators to commit over here for the kill. And eventually the Oil Derrick does go down. Yari mini-sub on the low ground as well. 1 striker goes down. For now, all of the Vindicators survive. The Apollo did get eliminated a moment ago, so that was an Apollo giving chase, but it just died, so cancel the Harvester. Cancel the Harvester. Well, Harvester back up. And the refinery may survive, but these units could kill that Harvester if they choose to. Vindicators coming in. They do now spot the 4th refinery moments earlier, and they could have actually killed the refinery core. A little bit unfortunate there for Infinite 1v1, and he loses the refinery. So he builds the Harvester and loses the refinery within about 30 seconds of each other. A couple of things there, you know, he could have canceled that Harvester, but like, man, missing the timing on this, that's just unlucky. That's if the game is slightly different, you get a huge amount of value from killing off that 4th refinery at that timing. And then it's no longer, you know, 3v4 refineries. It's 4v3 and then 3v3. So that changes the game for the Allied player missing out on that refinery kill by just a little bit. But there's, functionally no way for him to know that. Unfortunately, for Infinite 1v1, not able to get that lucky. Tier 2 is up. Double airfield, no war factory yet from our allied player. We do see this from time to time. The allied players going very thin on the ground army, very light on the ground units, and then they pay the price for it. We'll see if the airfields are the key to victory here for Infinite 1v1, or if SuperPower is able to put the hurt on the ground of this allied player. Naval Yard has been spotted. Ooh. Yep. I mean, what can you do? They saw the cryo shot coming. They dodged it. Harvester needs to go back to work, but other than that, SuperPower nicely handled for that moment. Goes for the power plant instead. Okay, Infinite 1v1 just gets a little bit of value. You're not going to get anything else, really. Spots the tier 3 as well. Always nice to know that timing. Power plant forced to rebuild. Infinite 1v1. I'm still worried about the lack of ground army. Goes assault destroyer, actually. So goes for Navy instead of a ground army. We'll see if that works out. For now, SuperPower turns his army around. If he had a couple of more tank busters, that might have been a dead MCV. And the assault destroyer can get the crush on the harvester, can potentially get the crush on some of these other units. Striker's going to be showing up. SuperPower will be able to get the shutdown on this assault destroyer. Will save the harvester as well, it seems. No! Yes! Wow, barely. As the Apollos rock up, clean up a couple of twin blades, clean up a couple of strikers, get forced away, and almost every single Apollo does escape there. Maybe one Apollo going down. No, 0 Apollos went down, actually. Harvester does eventually go down. That assault destroyer gave its life, and, well, a number of other units died also. So a sloppy attack for both players, but in the end, I think it ended up being worse for the allied player. SuperPower loses the harvester, takes some damage on that refinery, loses a couple of Tengus, but kept pretty much all of the tsunami tanks and maybe lost one striker. So if I'm rebuilding something, I'm fine with rebuilding a couple of Tengus when I'm a 4 refinery Empire player. 5.5k per minute for SuperPower, 4.5k per minute for Infinite 1v1. That's the difference of those refineries. That's the difference of that harassment. Dolphin coming out, might be able to get the shutdown on this. Yari mini sub to answer. So SuperPower will have the answer to that Dolphin. And once again, saber rattling at the front door, but no real attack lands. SuperPower has done this a couple of different times. Gone close to the allied base on the high ground and then backs off. Decides better of it, wants to go somewhere else, wants to defend back at home or whatever. The Assault Destroyer comes back in. Apollo's going to try and trade out. One striker does go down. Vindicator's going to be going for the kill. They do manage to kill off that refinery. The Assault Destroyer is going to go down and no crushes. So it will be the transform from the strikers, and they do chase away all those units. Tier 3 is now done for the Empire player, at least on their War Factory. And SuperPower has access to Wave Force Artillery, has access to those final units on the ground, but has lost a refinery. White, when you want to start producing those more expensive units, your economy takes a hit. Now the refinery. Come on. Come on. There we go. Fourth refinery back up and running. Might at some point take a 5th. Might take the low ground refinery, the low water refinery, the naval refinery there in the middle of the map. Yari Minisub going for the harass. Actually just going to hang out. And Vindicator's moments too late. Frustratingly late. If the Yari pursues that prospector, you have to suicide it to get the kill. Cryo shot comes in. Wave Force Artillery goes down. The crush is good, but it's not fast enough. The Javs and the Peacekeepers all go down, but they get the Wave Force Artillery, and that was the slowdown of this attack for the Allied player that the Allied player wanted. Dolphins get the kill on the Harvester. Even with the repair, it's just not enough. Vindicators wasting their time trying to chase down that Yari mini-sub, and instead they're just going to have to run away. Was that an engineer? I think that was an engineer dying. down there. And this harvester now going for the harass? Question mark? Vindicators do come in and get one tsunami. Oh, no, I don't actually want to see that. I don't need to see my top secret protocols. Command hub getting targeted. Oh, man, this Yari. An elite agent slipping underwater just moments before death. Dolphins just, they're scared to try and engage. And not enough damage to kill off that ore refinery. The harvester does eventually go down. And this refinery did survive. For Infinite 1v1, SuperPower probably will send another Yari mini-sub to go and finish it off. And Infinite 1v1, I feel like the missing thing is you need cryocopters. Although there hasn't been a rebuild of... Okay, never mind. We got 2 Wave Force artillery. It's like, that's where I worry about Infinite 1v1's ground army versus SuperPower. We still don't have tier 3 from our allied player. It hasn't even started. And we'll see if this refinery lasts too much longer. 2 Yari mini-subs are out, but they also have an assault destroyer to contend with. Jav gets pushed out of the building. Always nice to have that building with a javelin inside of it. Dolphins get the kill. Nicely done by Infinite 1v1, and we do have the cryocopter out on the field as well. Another harvester will be harassed by this assault destroyer. Strikers are here, and Apollos are a good ways away, especially since there's the distraction of this attack group in the middle of the map. Everything escapes for now. Multi-gunner turret goes down. Tsunami tanks are going to be on the front line. It's going to be the shrink down, but that will help this Wave Force artillery avoid any damage as well. Goes for the dodge, and that is 1 dead Vindicator, and the second will escape for now. The Apollos get 1 kill, but it looks like the Empire will get 1 back, and the cryocopter doesn't have much to defend it from the anti-air on the ground. We'll be able to shrink down that Wave Force artillery, and the Vindicator comes in for another bombing run, but doesn't get the kill. The Striker putting out as much damage as he can, but it's just 1 Striker versus that cryocopter. Multi-gunner turrets are pretty tough to crack when you've got low health tsunami tanks, and the Wave Force artillery, when you only have 1 of them, they don't actually do very much. We've got ourselves a tier 3 barracks, and now a sudden transport, or rather a guardian tank, is coming on over. Very big thanks for the sub, Weird Anarchy, coming over to Twitch for perhaps the first time, and hanging out. Assault Destroyer gets cleaned up. Another Harvester did get eliminated, but that's Eureka inside of the enemy base. Kills the refinery, forces the sell-off of the power plant as well, and that's now a allied Harvester making its way around the base. Cryocopter will go down. Second cryocopter. No, the cryocopter didn't go down. And now the juggle will begin, but it's not enough as Eureka goes down. Gets frozen, gets eliminated. The cryocopters will survive. The airfield survives. The Vindicator survives. Well, that was almost amazing. And then it wasn't. A couple of Peacekeepers going to be making the run for these tank busters. They will be able to shut down these tank busters, and that power plant might actually go down. It does. There's now 3 Peacekeepers on the case. They will be able to lock down all of those tank busters. My gosh, those tank busters can almost get a second power plant down to half health. SuperPower pressuring the front door. There are 2 Mirage tanks here. One of them just explodes as that Wave Force artillery crashes into it, and killing off that power plant was a bigger deal than I initially thought, because it is low power mode by a decent margin here for the allied player. One power plant will get him back into power mode, but without selling off those multi-gunner turrets at the front, he is right on the edge of being in low power mode again if he ends up building anything else. Cryogeddon fires off. It gets dodged once again. Going to be forcing some of these Wave Force artillery a little bit too close to the enemy for comfort. And the freeze doesn't actually happen, which means the Mirage tanks do have to take some extra time to lock everything down. But the EMP Finally, it's blue on blue because the EMP locked down his own units as Infinite 1v1 accidentally nukes his own units and takes them offline. The cryocopters will be chasing away this army, and that is once again the SuperPower land army getting pushed back. It's happened multiple times now, and that is going to be a Eureka trying to cross the map while the cryocopters are going for the freeze. This is 3 very low health cryocopters, and that is now a striker that was on the verge of going heroic, I have to imagine, with 3 cryocopters being added to its kill counter. Eureka will be able to shut down this expansion, get the kill on everything. Get the Prospector? Prospector? Oh, no. That's really 3 pathing for you. No. Okay, finally. Prospector did stop moving. Power plant does get sold off. Kill the Peacekeeper. Oh, well. Aircraft carrier getting targeted. And, well, Eureka will be able to get the kill on 1 cryocopter, but not the others. And the Peacekeeper survives. He fires the shot as he crashes down to the ground. And the Harvester did actually survive, so we can re-expand. Infinite 1v1 can re-expand to the bottom water expansion using that Prospector. It looks like the aircraft carrier did end up going down. Cryocopters moving out. 4 of them are the primary attacking force for this allied player. But the Naval Yard will finally get shut down there once and for all by SuperPower. He gets the kill. Infinite 1v1, battered and bruised, but still striking back. Kills the Naval Yard. Should be able to get the refinery as well. The Harvester is, I guess, just icing on the cake. Not quite perfect bomb splitting there. It looks like that was 2 bombs, but, you know, still good enough bomb splitting to get multiple targets. And the Strikers committing into this attack. There's so little ground army back at home. A couple of IFVs could potentially turn this around, but there just isn't anything here for the allied player. The aircraft are somewhere else. The war factory goes down. The MCV goes down. Only the airfields remain, as the Naval Yard has also been eliminated. And in 1 minute, SuperPower ends the entire allied game. It is now up to these cryocopters to freeze everything and wait for the Vindicators to come across the map and actually kill it. 1 cryocopter down, 2 cryocopters down, and there's only 2 that remain as Eureka kills 1 and the 4th is done. That cryocopter literally spinning in its grave as it ends its life. Eureka makes a 3rd appearance to kill this power plant. That's pretty much all that's left, as Infinite 1v1 has been defeated and SuperPower gets the win here on Infinity Isle. A delightful back and forth between these 2 players with some mistakes on both sides, but a nice even match between these 2. And as I said, an entertaining one from these guys. That will do it for this game. Welcome to Hidden Fortress, a map. That's for sure. You can't deny that this is not a map. And spawning as the orange Soviets, this is Karnabe. And right next door, I don't know what this game is going to be. This is Phi. These are the only 2 players on this map. So, I mean, you can look at the mini-map. This is, I think this is like a 6-player map or something. I think there's supposed to be a spawn location there, 1 here, 1 here. I think that's it. Is this a 3 versus 2 situation? So yeah, we're gonna have a couple of barracks a day. Sometimes people send in games and you never know what you're gonna get. Sentry gun is gonna try and come up. That is one advantage for the Soviet player, is when you've got those potential high value targets like the sentry gun, they can draw attention because you can see them on the map. A bunch of bears will get shut down. That's a lot of cash in bears down the tubes. Might need 1 more bear just to camp this barracks. If you built an engineer, he would be forced to pack up his MCV. We have yet to see a refinery. This refinery will immediately get shut down. Yeah, that's not going to work in the face of those flak troopers. And refinery's coming up. Karnabe, he has just over 2K. He can sell off one of his barracks as well. And, well, this wall is going to slowly get demolished. But I do like the wall placement there directly in front of the sentry gun to save the barracks. Of course, it doesn't really matter. And Phi, because he spent, I think he built 2 refineries, he is kind of donezo. He could still get out an engineer, but he's kind of donezo. So I think I think this is it. I think this is the end of the game. Is he gonna sell the MCV and get the engineer into that? No, he's I think he's just dead. Pillboxes are so RA2, yeah. I mean, you can't deny that. Although pillboxes were also in Red Alert 1, so there's that. And yeah, that sentry gun did it. Refinery up and running. Plus 5k per minute, or 0.5k per minute, excuse me. And 440 bucks in the bank for Phi. Nothing doing. Phi has been defeated, and that will do it. We're actually gonna, there's another Hidden Fortress game, so we're just gonna jump into that one. And maybe this is the way it was supposed to be played. I think these guys, they played that first game and then they were like, all right, now we know what to do. Walls coming up immediately. In the south, this is Karnabe. And in the north, this is Phi. And as you can see, we've got ourselves 37k remaining for both players. That's right, it's a 40k start. That's why there's a crane first. That's why there's walls coming up immediately. Well, I guess the walls are kind of needed anyways, but you got the crane opening for the Soviet player. You've got the immediate ore refinery as well. No one going double barracks to try and get the win. And I guess these guys, after that other game, they were like, we're going to just play this one out. We're not going to try and rush it down the fastest moment. But with 40k, you can get a lot of refineries as Empire. And, I mean, you could potentially, you know, take, like, that location, or you could go with the closer ones. Try and get both of those refineries sorted for yourself. Get that oil derrick. But, you know, you can pretty safely as Empire. You can go up to, like, 5 refineries right away and just pump those out when you've got 40k. Both players underwater in terms of electricity. They both 175 out of 150, so they're not feeling too good on the power side of things. Refinery hasn't actually been sent out. Is this a triple? Okay, I thought it was a triple Tesla coil, but I guess the super reactor isn't actually done yet. Might even be worth selling off one of the barracks and then selling off one of the cranes until the super reactor is done. You might actually just be able to sell off the barracks, and that would be enough to get you there. But getting that super reactor out, you know, 10 seconds earlier, you could have had Tesla coils started by now, and that will, of course, Tesla coils will dominate a Defender VX. There's no contest between a Tesla coil and a Defender VX. Refineries are out. Unfortunately for the Soviet player, he cannot expand as easily, so that 28k that he's got right now isn't going to last forever. Really needs to get up a second refinery or move out to an expansion. 1 striker does go down. 3 sentry guns will chew through a lot of infantry, especially when they are going through this choke point and can get shot at a distance. Tank busters will be able to take down 1 of the sentry guns. Second sentry gun does get eliminated, and there's still a decent number of tank busters behind this, so they can still burst down this 3rd sentry gun if they actually attack it. There we go. Bears are now coming up. No twin blades. No easy kill on these infantry. It's going to be the Bears, and they do get shut down. Soviet player has not been able to run for the hills. No more sentry guns behind that. 27k in the bank. No Tesla coils started. No additional sentry guns. No, like, 2 airfields to double pump twin blades. And, well, we'll see. The shoe's on the other foot now. Phi, he managed to get a refinery out to the water. Not quite all the way to an actual ore node, but he at least got it out to the water. Twin Blade will be dealt with quite easily by these defenders once they change targeting modes, and now they have. Second refinery, or third refinery, is now up for the Empire player. Fourth refinery, still not so much, but second refinery for the Soviet player never materialized, so this 25k is not being added to very quickly. MCV gonna run for the hills. No double airfield to double pump twin blades. It's just one at a time, but at least there are some walls. Would love to see some Tesla coils get started up. You've got enough power headroom to add on 2-3 Tesla coils. One defender. Ooh, that twin blade is still in range, so the Tengu plus the Defender Core are a pretty quick combo to kill off twin blades. Fourth twin blade is here, but it is not long for this world. And too bad these guys didn't send in a third replay of this. Or if they did, I guess I didn't download it. But it looks like we're going to have ourselves a 1-1 on our hands. Let's see. Oh, no. There we go. Yeah, we're going to have ourselves 1-1 on our hands, but we don't get a third game, so I guess these guys will be eternally locked in a tie. A couple of goofy games here from Phi and Karnabe. Tank Buster is going to take up a lot of damage, but more than enough firepower here to lock down a measly MCV. Crane gets eliminated, Tier 3 gets canceled, and there goes the MCV. And now... Wow, I messed that up. There we go. Now we have a 1-1 on our hands. Phi and Karnabe both getting a win there on Hidden Fortress. But, you know, they were at least quick about it. They didn't drag it out. Nicely done to those two goofballs. I'm guessing those are two friends. They just wanted to play a silly game. And, you know, they both got a win. That'll do it for that match.